that? That's
Amazon.
So
I thought it would help you.
yes, and it would be like I don't have to.
Clicker, target stick,
Thank
treats,
you.
jackpots are in the middle.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah. So you're thinking no session tonight?
Yeah, I just think it's 5 o'clock, and I think we're already. She's going to be like wanting to eat and then roost.
Do you want to know what I think?
What? You want to do it anyways?
No, I think that you're assuming, and I think earlier you assumed too.
What?
You know, yesterday you were like, it's been 2 days, she has to want to train. And you were so like in that mindset that you felt like that had to be your mindset, and you're doing it again, you haven't even asked her.
Yeah, but the problem is I can't do it. I have
See,
to.
that is okay.
Yeah.
But I think in the future, when we're like, should we do a session or not, you should ask her.
No, you're right. You're right about that. I just.
Like, not being able to do it is a legit,
Yeah.
like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the first reason you gave. The first reason you gave is like, she's going to be roosting, she doesn't want to do it.
I don't think it's a good idea. I do not like handling birds when it gets to be a certain hour, and I would stick with that pretty much across the board. The things it's like, let's go to 5 o'clock when it's almost dark out and go in there and start drilling and it's like, no, they want to roost, leave them alone. I think that's a time that you don't mess with.
Cutest wave. Okay, one more.
Good girl. Oh God, that's going to be cute. Put your foot down. All right, good girl. All right.
Hey guys, I wanted to give you more details on this handy dandy training pouch that I got for Patty. One of the problems that she's been having during our sessions is coordination of holding everything, mainly the target stick. It's been a major issue. Giving treats has been an issue. I've wanted to implement jackpot rewards, which basically is these giant almonds, which I could just see being a whole other issue. I've also really wanted Patty to implement using clicker, and that's been an issue. So what I did was I have a clicker that's on a reel, so she can actually hold it way far out, let go, and it just stays with you, so you don't have to worry. It's also right there. This can fit her target stick. I personally like keeping this in my back pocket because it just works really well, so that if it's like this, you can just pull it out of your back pocket and use it really easily. But I think having everything in one place will just make it easier for Patty and set her up for more success. So hence the training pouch. Basically, the two things that I really discovered through training with Morgan on my own was that she responds better to the clicker instead of the word good, and she also responds really well to the little treat box being shaken. Like, just when I shake it, she seems to have more motivation and enthusiasm to come. So those are two things that I firmly believe have a huge impact on her motivation and enthusiasm to train. And they're things that I really wanted Patty to incorporate. But as you guys have seen who have been following this series, Patty really struggled with the food treat box and does not want to use it. And she hasn't been wanting to use the clicker either because of coordination. So I'm hoping that this solves both of them, and that this training pouch can basically be a signal to Morgan that, hey, it's training time, it's fun time, it's bonding, game playing time, and this will become as big of a signal as the treat box acts for me during my sessions. So hopefully they make the comparison and it works in her favor and sets everyone up for success. So that's where I'm going with the treat bag.
Look at that. Good girl. Give me a second, Morgan, to get set up. Morgan. Morgan. Whoops. Morgan. Good girl. Yeah. Good girl.
So here Patty's holding her hand too high. We really want to set Morgan up so that she's stepping up onto the counter, not stepping down. And it's such a slight difference, but it's a really big deal when it comes to getting her to do it or not.
Jamie? Yeah? She won't step off me again.
Okay, do you think she wants to train based on what you've seen?
Based on, she flew pretty well the first time. Step up on Jamie. She won't target off.
Okay. You want to look at the footage?
Yeah,
Okay, let's do the. Do you want to try again?
Yeah.
Oh, you're trying right now. Okay. I'm gonna leave. Do you want me to leave again?
She's coming to you.
Okay, I'm gonna leave again. So 3 reps, and we'll redo it again.
You went flat? Morgan. Good girl. Nice job.
So I'm just going to kind of walk you guys through what I told Patty when we reviewed the footage. And right here I told her awesome job. She's holding Morgan at the perfect level to have her step up onto the surface. And Morgan responds really well when she is able to step up instead of stepping down onto something. So having her at a specific level is really important when you ask her to do those behaviors. It's just another thing with clear communication and not waiting around forever for her to actually step off.
Morgan. Come on, Morgan. Morgan. Good girl. Good girl.
The other note I had for Patty, and those of you may or may have not recognized it, is she was turning her back on her for quite a while. And the reason I don't want her to turn her back is because she cannot read Morgan's body language or know what she's going to do. She's not receptive. She's literally closing off communication when she's not facing her. So it's really important to me for her to keep that open line of communication.
You went fly? Good girl. Is that 3, Jamie?
I think so.
Yeah. She's being a dick about jumping off of Sorry.
It's okay. Is there a reason you weren't using the clicker?
Just wasn't there yet. I was just trying.
Okay. Okay. Just making sure. So we just ended the session. When we came out from our powwow of going over the footage immediately, Morgan wanted to fly, so she did a long flight all the way from the back of the chair to basically in front of our office, landed on Patty, and I told her to give her an almond, so she got a giant almond for that, and Patty's putting her away, and we're going to try training later today. And that was all Patty's call, which I think is awesome. She's reading the hesitancy and the, lack of enthusiasm that we would like to see. So even though it wasn't a bad session by any means, we've come up with a new way of doing it where we do 3 reps and then we go over the video footage, and then 3 reps and go over the video footage, thanks to my hubby. Yeah, how'd you feel about that?
It was good. Good. We got a new way that we're doing things that
Yeah.
I think could be a little bit more conducive to my learning process.
Yes.
So we're just doing. You were out of the room. That doesn't necessarily always have to be the case, but
Yeah.
we're doing 3 reps. Stop no matter what. Review the footage. If it's great, it's great, and if it's wrong, we stop the behavior right then and there, so that we don't allow me to continue and compound.
And get it exaggerated.
Uh-huh.
Basically what we found was last session was our second forced session that basically shouldn't have happened. And what I saw in it was one time Morgan got a little off balance when you put her on the T-stand, or when you tried to put her on the T-stand, and so when you walked back with her kind of with your arm twisted, she was off balance and put her wings out. And if I would have been there in the room and seen it, I would have been able to be like, walk slower, she doesn't have a grip, or switch hands, or, I would have stopped it.
Yeah.
But then the following one was when Morgan took off and flew off, and it was because she wasn't on Patty's hand with her thumb down. She was actually had made her way up to her arm, and Patty was walking with her on her arm, so she didn't have stability, or walking fast, and she took off. And I would have loved to have been in the room to stop that progression. So the second one where she flew off, I would have...
You would have stopped me after the first one.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have gone there. I was trying to take her back to the counter to target her off. And I was like in a hurry because I didn't want to get to my shoulder because from all accounts, she doesn't behave well up there.
Yeah.
And I don't want anything bad to happen, you know. Mainly to my ears. No.
Yeah. Face.
But, so if...
Intern, something bad happened.
Intern, something... Yeah, but, I mean, it was the lesser of the two evils. But why, you know, I should have just done that. But what my instinct said, get back to the counter. She needs a surface to step on. And as I got back to the counter, the first time she didn't step off anyway, so that was kind of a fail.
Yeah, but then first thing today, I think it was in the first, 3 reps, you had a hard time getting her down or something, and you just simply switched hands, and I was
don't know why.
Yay!
Yeah.
Because that's all I've been doing. I've just been stepping her up right from you. When it's something you can do yourself, you can just be like, oh, she's here, and you're good.
I don't know, I wonder if I have something in my hand and my brain is just not saying drop it. Just drop what's in your hand.
Drop it.
All about training, Jamie is.
I know. It just reminded me how people sound when they tell a dog to drop it. It's so serious and it's very slow. It just made me laugh. I'm so sorry. Yeah, but that, the fact that you did that right away, that was awesome. Yeah. I want to see that more.
And I think this is going to be a good learning process for me. You know, we're reviewing it, and we went over yesterday. We went over that right before we did this.
Yes.
And so that's right fresh in my mind. And so it's all about me making things second nature and following my instincts rather than overthinking everything, which is totally what I do. And we also, you're going to be gone in a few days, and I'm going to be on my own for 10 days. So also...
Which is why we're easing into me not being there, but being able to walk into the room and help. Yeah,
I asked Jamie if she sees something, don't let me decide whether or not to continue. Just stop me, because I have to know... I only have 3 days to get things to where my brain is working right, you know, where, it's this is how I handle this is how I handle that. And so I asked Jamie to kind of step in and say... we need to put an end to this. Yeah. And you've got to get this together. So. Yeah,
because I was passing over a lot more control and giving Patty the options and letting her make the decisions, because I felt like maybe if I did that and handed the reins over so she didn't feel so restricted by this, and being corrected all the time, that she might allow herself to get comfortable into the session and be more instinctive and natural. And that wasn't really the case.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, we had a weird...
But this was good.
Yeah, today was good.
Yeah.
Today was good.
Yeah, and she's all stoked about the waving. She spent,
oh my gosh,
a whole minute in there just... It's the cutest thing
Have they seen this yet?
Cutest wave. Okay, one more.
I mean, she's got the foot that twists off like this, so she's going to actually be waving behind her once her fingers get moving. But she's got the foot up, and she just... You know, we just got to get her to do this with her toes.
Shape it or something.
And it's going to be anyone behind her is going to be going, hey!
No, it's super cute. And that's another thing, with our birds, we try to get them, see if they're in training mode by asking certain behaviors, like waving and spin and stuff like that. And if they respond really well and eagerly, then we know that they most likely want to train. And if they won't even do a wave, you're booned.
This morning, she was very eager in the cage, targeting, and she immediately offered the wave, and... So Jamie's like, do you want to train? I'm going yeah. And so we brought her in, and she was only sort of into it. I mean, she made some good flights.
Yeah.
But she wasn't as eager as it seemed that she was from the cage. So we called it and put her back, and we'll do it again later.
You called it.
I called it. And... so we'll train again, maybe longer next time. And
I'm at the point where I still ask Patty, do you think we should call it? Do you think we should stop? And if she, if she would have made the wrong call and said, I think we should keep training, I would have been no.
Yeah.
But
I think that's really important right now.
So I'm getting to the point where I'm oh, nope, that's wrong, or cool, yay, that's right.
Because we can't, and part of the reason for that is that we can't allow Morgan to... If I make a bad decision and I keep pushing her, it's going to damage our relationship, and it's just ultimately going to set us back. Aside from the fact that I'm going to be on my own for 10 days, which is little terrifying.
Don't be scared. I can tell you're no. Don't be scared.
It's also damaging to our relationship, and the more I continue to make that same mistake, the less she is going to want to train with me, and that's going to be the biggest setback of all. She has to trust me, and she has to know that I'm going to do the right thing.
Yeah.
So,
and in turn, you have to do the right thing. So one of the things that we noticed in the first 3 reps, I think it was, is you had a hard time getting her down on the counter, right? Like you struggled, called me in, and we looked at the footage, and I was like, so why does she have to go down on the counter?
yeah, it's like, didn't have an answer for that.
Yeah, so she didn't
put her
want
in
to
a chair, put her on the T-stand, do something.
put her where she wants to go,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
the more that Patty says, do you want to go down on the counter? No? Okay, where do you want to go? And reevaluates and lets Morgan have a choice. The more Morgan will make the choice that Patty wants, but the more that she keeps forcing her to make the decision that you want, the less the less likely she'll be to make that decision.
Yeah.
So
it's all about respect, and it's all
it
about
is.
giving her to right to play a
Choose.
part in what, this is her life, and she gets to have a say in it. And what I found with my birds is that when I let them have their way, sometimes when I need them to do what I need them to do, they're just very amenable and willing to do it. So I want that same relationship with
I
Morgan.
think the 3 reps is really helping us. Again, my hubby gave us that advice.
Thank you,
He was
Dave.
like, be more structured. I tend to be more flowy and adaptable and go with what the bird says, but
From
like,
a learning perspective,
from a learning perspective,
that's just
really
a crazy
difficult.
amount of information.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of info. And so, Dave was like, break it down into chunks, and no matter what, if it goes positive or negative, review the footage and go over it. And it really helped us. Like, just 3 reps, there was a lot of information in those 3 reps.
And there was yes, there was. And
Right?
you wouldn't have thought so.
I
You would
wouldn't
have
have
just
thought
continued
so.
on. And plus, it's positive reinforcement for me. So it's good for me to, and you're very good about saying, good job, Patty, and stuff like that. But I'm kind of in the zone.
Yeah.
And I've got the bird on me, so it's like, yeah, thanks, Shane.
Yeah.
And so I don't think I'm really registering that as positive reinforcement for me. So the bird is not with me. We're looking at the footage, and it's
all sinking in.
I don't have Morgan to be thinking about it at that particular moment.
So are we going to try training later?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm
If
excited.
she wants to. Yes.
All right, cool. We'll come back to you guys later.